spit in my eyes. They don't work anyway. Absolutely. That's canon at this point.
Spit in your eyes?
No. Just the very first thing being like, what the hell did he just say?
I guess. All right. Hello, ladies and germs, boys and ghouls, and everything in between. Hey, welcome to another exciting episode of Building by Torchlight. Give you a little backstory on what the heck we do here. So, basically, I was like, yo, I found out you could play these like tabletop games to build a world for a tabletop game, and I think that's really interesting. Wouldn't it be fun if you just played all of them to build one world? And Henry was like, I got an idea.
I got just the fucking world.
So we started doing it. We've been doing it for a while now. If you haven't been keeping up, you can check the YouTube. That's Torchlight Tavern on YouTube, where I've been posting what I believe is all of them. Can't be 100% sure.
All but the ones we don't want people to see.
But I'm pretty sure all of them. So you can check them all out there. Let's get a little bit into who we are before we get into what the fuck's happening here. I'm Jeff, your Torchlit Twitch Master, your Twitchlit Torch Master, your man who's usually somewhat planned. I'm here just gonna learn. All right, thanks, CD. Always appreciating making sure that everything sounds good and it works. CD, you're a real one, and don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise, or else I'll find him. Like I said, I'm Jeff. I'm your main man on this Torchlit Tavern's Twitch channel, and if you like all that alliteration, I've got more for you. But in the meantime, joining me as always on these Wednesdays is Henry.
Seamus in Oxford. Pleasure to meet you. No, I'm Henry. I'm not as clever as that man. That man is impeccable brain. My brain is quick, just not accurate. I do a lot of the things here on the Twitch channel with Jeffrey. I play Klep on our our Mythcraft stream. I co-host with Jeff here on this Building by Torchlight, where we build the wildest world that we possibly can think of. I came up with the idea of building a department store that is beyond anyone's belief or imagination. And literally, if you can think of a department or any kind of cause for a department, it exists. To the point where we have sports Vikings, we have anime, we have pirates, we have canned goods, we have everything the normal department store has, and then some. And if you guys have a good idea for a department to go into this department store, let us know. There's nothing stopping us from adding more. This world has no beginning or end. It is just a department store that will continue forever. And I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to have a good time. My wife's over there doing something that's tripping me out because she's doing like this number. Yeah, I don't know. Is she knitting? Does she knit? When did she start knitting? I don't know. Yeah, no, she's still doing it. Maybe she's sewing. I think she's sewing. But anyway.
Sewing, knitting, snitting, snowing. Who knows?
Not snowing.
Not snowing? Okay, well, we know that much. Yes, like you said, he joined up and he had a wild idea for Mediocre Mart, as we've been calling it, a endless department store, a giant box store. That's the whole world. The whole world's the store. You ever been lost in a big box store, a big department store?
God.
And thought to yourself, fuck, when will this end?
I never even thought about that. That's like someone's nightmare. This world is someone's nightmare.
It is. It's
a childhood trauma just like waiting and lurking.
It's a childhood trauma that you are poking personally with your idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah. So far, in the world of mediocre mart, we worked on a bunch of the departments, including sports Vikings and bouncy houses and um, carnival rides,
Mm-hmm.
just to name a few. And we played several games, including Kingdom, Featherbeak and Bone, um,
Our Pantheon,
our Pantheon. Yes,
A
thank
Quiet
you.
Year.
A Quiet Year.
What was the one we just played?
The
Kingdom.
one
That
we
was Kingdom.
that was Kingdom. Yep.
And now we're playing.
And as of last session, which was now an unfortunately long amount of time ago, we started playing Microscope. Microscope is a world building game where you really kind of build the timeline. That's the important factor here. You build the history. And we took that, and like with all of these, we've been, well, our Pantheon, we kind of built the whole world. But with
Yeah.
most of these, we've been building just a department.
But our
Hilariously,
Pantheon would be fun to come back to and do just a singular department with it.
well, I think hilariously, Microscope would be great for building, for using on the whole world.
Mm-hmm. We did it backwards.
Make a micro and macroscope department.
We do have a tiny things department.
Oh, yeah, that was another one that I really wanted to do.
Yeah. But moving forward, we have
Always.
always moving forward. We started this, and again, hilariously, this would have been great for building the whole world. And I'm not saying instead of our Pantheon. I think our Pantheon was the perfect thing to build the whole world.
Mhm.
But I think this would have also been a good accompaniment to that already.
I agree.
And so
On into this.
maybe we'll do it again and build the history of the whole place, because that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. We have no idea the timeline for this entirety. Like, when did sports Vikings become a thing? Was it at the dawn of time? Because right now it seems like, because of the way Microscope functions, that anime, which is the department we're currently working on, was the start of everything.
It almost implies that Microscope. Well, and the other thing that's important here is that I recently learned that one of the other games we were probably going to play, I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic?
Yeah.
Is a version of Microscope that is meant to be used in a smaller scale for like a city, a town, a state, maybe. So it really would have probably applied better here than Microscope is. And again, that's something we'll kind of find out in time. I think for now, we're already in it. We could shift gears, but it's already on the title. I do think it would behoove us, but if we could get Jay involved, it would behoove us to do another Microscope playthrough where we do the whole world.
I agree.
So,
and then on top of that, one day, this world will exist and it will be played.
yes, it will be played, and it will probably be played on stream.
And unfortunately, I'm sorry to break it to all of you guys, I'll DM it, so it will be chaotic. And it will not make any sense.
You're going to be a DM?
And I will kill everyone by accident, and they'll have to make new characters because I'm going to throw something at them that I don't fully understand, and I'm going to be like, oh, guys, sorry. This is a big boy. Running is always an option. Unless I don't give you that option.
Running is always an option until I've taken away your escape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. I think I'm very excited for that. And on our way leading up to that, I might actually introduce another game. And I actually finally have a place to put it. Because I've been thinking, I know we're whittle off base here, but if you're joining us, if you're still here with us, and if you're joining us, thank you.
And I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry. So,
Not sorry.
in what is our Wednesday night stream, it used to be a talk show, kind of like this, called No Dice, where I would just have on guests or sometimes not, and we'd talk about, pardon, we would talk about TTRPG stuff, how to build a character, what's a good backstory look like, how to run a long-running game. And a good chunk of those did end up on our YouTube as well, which, by the way, maybe you go back and watch a couple, Henry. As they are a lot of DM tips on there. And, you're on your way to being a DM. But
joke's on you. I'm going to DM it in the D20 TTRPG. So there's going to be no help for me there.
Well, you didn't let me finish.
I know that's where you're going, so I wanted to jump ahead of you. Ha! I'm a rabbit.
For a long time, I've teased on this channel a game called Torchlight Plays, where every once in a while we play a brand new system. We just play it. I find enough people from the Torchlight community. That's unfortunately just the people you see on stream normally, who are willing to jump in and we'll play a completely different system. I'll learn how to run it, and maybe other people will be interested and learn how to run a game and play it there too. Mm-hmm. So likely, when we're done with Building by Torchlight, for at least a little while, we're going to play some games. There's a lot of really fun ones out there. Whole new systems, like Lumeria, which has what's it called? Has a different system. Lumeria and Thirsty Sword Lesbians, and
maybe we could even name it TTRPG Gone Wrong.
We could workshop it
because it's gonna go wrong.
It's probably gonna go wrong, but we'll have fun
in all the
doing
best
it.
Ways.
I'll have fun doing it. That's for sure.
That's what our Wednesdays are for.
Absolutely. So let's get back to this. Last session, when we had a last Building by Torchlight, we started the game of Microscope. As I've already said, Microscope is meant to build a timeline, a history, which is so useful when building a game. Like building a world, like establishing a history is daunting. So a little tool that can help you, killer. And if you can do it with your friends, maybe even the friends that are going to play the game with you, even better. So let's crack into what we've done so far. So far, we've talked about the yeses, which are actually, let's start with this. So far, we've talked about the concept. The concept is the age of power begins after these snake orbs were collected. Then we talked about the yeses, things that we are definitely approved to appear in this timeline during this game, but don't necessarily have to, but things that maybe you wouldn't expect to appear. And the no's, which are things that you might expect to appear in the setting of the concept, but you don't want to appear.
Mm-hmm.
Our yeses include the whole department could be destroyed, or even those with great power still have day-to-day jobs. It will also include silly things like people graduating. Our no's is there's no underage romance here. No. No overpowered children. We're not going to do that. And a somewhat important one for me that's sometimes used to get featured in anime is no incest or sibling obsessed people. That's weird. I don't like it. Then we figured out where it all started. It starts with the 9 space snake orbs being collected and used to grant power to the citizens of the Department of Anime. In the wake of this power, the people began to awaken a new era, an endless possibility. It starts very light, which is bright, good, nice. The end of our timeline, because in Microscope you're building a timeline, so you should have a beginning and an end. It ends when once again the space snake orbs are gathered to put an end to the era of great power. And after a land of power seemed too out of control,
Jeff,
someone decided it shouldn't continue.
something's bothering me.
What's that?
This sounds very familiar, but I can't put my fingers on it.
Which part? The everybody has powers, like weird quirky powers.
That seems very familiar.
Mm.
The quirks are really tingling at my brain. And then
Sure.
the space snake, why does it?
Space snake orbs.
Yeah, why does
the,
that?
the 9 space snake orbs, which you can
Yeah.
gather together to make some type of request to the highest power that you can find.
Yeah,
You know, the kind of orbs you might gather that could do anything almost.
yeah.
Strange.
No idea. Let's move on.
So once we've done that, or now that we've done that, we are going to move into the next steps. So we've got the bookended history. We've got our palette. We haven't done the palette yet. So next, actually, maybe we haven't even done that. Yeah, we have. Hold on. We've got the first step is the big picture. A simple overview of what you want to play. We did that.
I want to play a game.
The
Next.
bookend of history. That's how it starts and ends. We did that. We have the palette. That's the yeses and nos.
Got it. Next.
Next, we're going into the first pass. Group decisions are now and forever for the rest of the game. Each player makes decisions individually and has vast power to shape history. Each player now gets to add one more detail to the history, creating either a new period or event. Players can go in any order they want. To add a period, place it between the 2 adjacent periods. To give a short, then give a short description of what happens during that time. Say if the tone is light or dark. An event is a specific thing that happens inside a period, like a prince seizing the throne or a colony ship arriving to a new world. To add a new event, decide what period that event is in. If there are any other events in that period, place it before or after one of them. An event must be inside of an existing period. Tell the other players what happens during this event, and say if the tone is light or dark. So, we have our start and end. So next, in between the start and end, let's do some periods. And I'll let you go first.
I was going to say, I think I want to start off with the fall of anime right out of the gate.
That's the first period you want to start?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Everyone is given great power right out of the gate. They don't really understand it. One guy, they're all fighting each other. They're all trying to be in charge, and it's going to cause chaos. and anime is gonna be destroyed right out of the gate. And I mean, it's gonna get rebuilt. That's the intent of it. But within that chaos, it's gonna get destroyed right out of the gate. Because everyone's gonna start playing with their powers until they realize, like, hey, whoa, guys, let's chill, or else we're not gonna have anything left.
So the first period you want to create is
The period of chaos.
a period of chaos. Oh God, what happened? Why would you be there? That's not where I wanted you to be at all.
Don't worry, I'm on it, Papi Chulo.
That's good because I'm nowhere near it now. All right. We've made a period of chaos. All right. Let's see.
Oh, and I want you to know I use Opera for my browser, and I do think it's cool because you can mess with like your keyboard sound effects and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So my keyboard sounds like an old-timey typewriter.
Fantastic.
Like that tack, 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 fa-ting, fa-ting.
Fantastic.
I love it.
All right, let's see. We each get to add one more detail to history. All right, so we each basically make a period. It doesn't say if we should make more than that because there's only the two of us, but I think it's fine. We'll each make one period. And let me see. To add a period, place it between each, give it a short description of what happens during that time. Okay, here's my first pass. It'll be the period of innovation.
I like it. Oh.
And during the period of innovation, tremendous leaps in like technology and society are going to take place. All right. Don't add another period. We each add one. This is our first pass.
Let's tell me what to do.
All right. Let's get into the game. Because that's just the getting started part. Now we're in the playing the game. All right. Now we decide which player becomes the first lens. If someone is teaching the game, they should be the first lens. You can give the lens a large visible object. Well, that's if we're at a table. Unfortunately, we're not at a table. We're online.
Let me give you this, Jeff. Take it.
Oh.
You didn't take anything. There you go. There's the large visible object. Now carry on.
I think you should be the lens.
Well, give it back.
Oh, here.
The fuck is that? What the fuck is this witchcraft bullshit?
Ooh, witchcraft. God,
And
anybody watching
bullshit.
This is going to be... Brujeria. Anybody watching this is going to be fucking either mad or lost. And I thank you for being here. Okay.
And I apologize for you being here.
Those are our jobs. So declare the focus. The lens declares the current focus of the game, the part of history you're going to explore right now. And then 2, you're going to make history. Each player takes a turn creating either a period or event or a scene. The lens goes first, then go around the table to the left There's only two of us, so both directions are your left, technically.
That's not how that works, Chef.
It kind of is, though.
No, you get the same result, but both directions are not my left.
Ostensibly, it is.
Ostentatiously.
All ostentatious.
Please do. It's been a while.
The lens goes first. Then you go around the table to the left. What you create must relate to the current focus. The lens can choose to create two things on their turn. So long as they are nested inside each other, either a new event plus a scene inside that event, or a new period plus an event inside that period. This gives the lens more power to get the focus going. The lens finishes the focus. After each player has taken a turn, the lens gets to go again and add another period, event, or scene, or two nested things. This lets the lens have the last word about the focus. So, Henry, you're going to be the lens.
Yeah.
You have to choose what the focus of the game is right now.
I'm going in the period of chaos. That's where it's going to be happening.
I don't know if that's what it means. Let's go to picking a focus. Okay. Play can jump backwards and forward in time, all across history, to keep everyone playing the same game. The lens picks a focus, a unifying theme that ties the story together, at least until the next lens picks a new one. The focus can be anything: a person, a place, a thing, an institution, an event, a period, a concept, or anything you would want. The lens can use something that already came up in play, or make something new on the spot. If you're making something new, you'll usually declare the focus. You'll usually declare the focus, then make a period, event, or scene to show what you're talking about.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes.
So
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's occurring in the period of chaos.
Okay.
And it is the concept of the struggle for power, leadership, who's going to run it. It's kind of laying the bones for what occurred during the period of chaos.
Okay.
And so, it is.
Now you must pick a thing. Right. So you said, hold on. Does it say a concept? It does say a concept. Okay.
Leadership.
Okay. Once you've picked a focus, then you're going to create history. You're either a period, event, or scene. You made the focus. The focus is very specifically the struggle of power during the period of chaos. So now, likely, you won't make another period. So you can either make an event or a scene.
I want to make a grand scene, not a focused scene, but like throughout the entire department scene. So bear with me.
Okay, hold on. Let me very quickly go over making history so we know we're doing it right. On your turn, you can create either a period, event, or a scene, or two nested things if you're the lens. That means you could make an event with a scene in it if you wanted. These are building blocks that outline your history. Periods show us the big picture, broad sweep of history. Events zoom closer and explore specific incidents within a period. And scenes zoom all the way in and reveal what happens moment by moment within an event. When you make a period or an event, you have vast power to shape history. You can add anything you want as a part of your description, spontaneously creating or destroying people, places, or things. If you choose to play a scene instead, you give up absolute control and invite other players to role play and decide what happened together. No one owns anything in history. It doesn't matter who created something. When it's your turn, you can do anything you want with it. The only limit is to to you, the only limits to your creativity are: don't contradict what's already been said. Make sure you add what you add relates to the current focus, and don't use anything from the no column of the palette.
Okay, so improv, yes, and
Mm-hmm.
cool. That is the rules for this. Yes, and
Pretty hard.
yeah. So what I want to do is we can throw out names if you so choose.
That's only
I'm
if you
not
make it a
really.
scene.
I'm kind of just going to lay the bones for what happened during the period of chaos.
So what you're supposed to be doing is making
Mhm.
an event or a scene.
I'm making an event. The event is throughout the entire department. The event is the struggle for power.
Okay, let me describe an event because I want to make sure we're doing this right. It'll be very
Okay.
easy to get lost. We're notorious for not doing things right on this
Correct.
show. So I'd like it to be right when it
It's
can.
part of our charm.
An event is something specific that happens during a period, like a great battle or a festival. While a period encompasses everything that happens across a large span of time, an event describes what happens at a particular time and place. Just like periods, the literal length of an event is not important. Some events may seem long, others very short. To make a new event, decide when it is. Place the event in an existing period. You cannot have an event outside of a period. If there are any other events in that period, place it before or after them, one of them chronologically. Describe the event. Tell the other players what happens. Your description should be specific enough that other players have a clear picture of what physically takes place. Make sure to include the outcome, not just the start, and say whether it's light or dark. Explain how that tone fits your description.
Okay.
You're never wrong about tone, but you do have to justify your choice to the other players.
Okay. I think what I'm trying to do fits into that realm.
Okay?
So it is upon the discovery of powers when people start realizing they have the powers and trying to decide, well, I should be in charge because of this or that. And then it becomes battles throughout all of the department. And it is quite literal battles. Like if you and me both found out we had powers today and we were trying to run the United States, we'd be battling for that position. So it is just people everywhere battling to prove that they are superior to the others. And in that battle that's happening throughout the entire department, because everyone just starts jumping in because they're like, why not? I can too. I've got powers. It just, that's the period of chaos. It levels all that was anime because there is no order, there is no rules, because it doesn't matter anymore. They all think that they're above it and that they need to be leading, and they want to make the decisions.
Okay.
And I could give a victor, but I don't even want to give a victor because I feel like it's just an awakening at the end when they're like, there's nothing left. We've destroyed everything. All that are still standing. What are we going to rule over? We've destroyed everything in this battle.
Okay.
So we could even have it be not almost like a Knights of the Round Table ending.
You decide that stuff. It says, I'm reading more, and it says
Yeah.
very specifically, don't collaborate.
I'm going through it in my own head. I may be speaking outwardly.
Yeah.
But I'm going through it by myself. I think I want it to end in almost like a Knights of the Round Table. Let's go through, and I will collaborate this part because it's not dependent on anything. Names of these 8 that are left.
I could shoot out some names, but I think I don't really want to. Nothing will kill it faster than playing by committee. I'm just going to ask a question. This is procedural. What are you going to call the event so that it has a name so we can reference that name?
Hmm. Oof. I feel like that needs a powerful name. And I'm not good at powerful things.
Come on. Giving us dead air.
Yeah, I know. I'm really bad at this. The congregation.
That's the name of the event? Okay.
Because it all causes chaos, but the end result is the congregation. When they all gather and they're like, hey, we need to stop.
Okay. Go ahead and describe to me what happens in the congregation. I need to be able to picture it.
So as people are falling and they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to lead. The 8 come to the top and they were still battling it out. But in that moment, let's say Hector. I like Hector. Hector kind of doesn't call a truce, but he stops and he's like, hey, there's nothing left. What are we doing? We can keep struggling to find out who's going to rule, but there will be nothing left to rule.
Okay.
I like the name Hector. And they didn't even end up with fancy names or anything because this was all at the start. It's not like Hector the Wise or anything like that. Just Hector. Just dudes. These are just dudes and girls.
Okay. Sorry, I'm typing here. I'll stop typing. That way we don't have as much dead air. Okay. So are you going to have a scene or are you just going to make the one event?
I'm just going to make the one event and end it at that. I do want to have the 8 names, though, if we could throw those down real quick.
Is it necessary?
I feel like so because they kind of end up being the ones that form the governing heads, I guess, if you will. Like there's a ceasefire and they all kind of just like, hey, we're all really fucking strong. We get it. That's what I'm saying is it ends very Knights of the Round Table-y, but in a different way. Because Knights of the Round Table were never destroying everything.
Okay. So we've got Hector.
Jax.
Sure. Hector, Jax, Niles, Sybil, what's another good one? Ken.
Ryuk.
Ryuk. Sure.
2 more.
Senji.
Let's get a female. Let's get females in there.
Sybil is a female name.
I know. I want more.
Okay.
I feel like they're underrepresented in anime. Let's be honest.
I don't know about that.
Are you guys the only two tonight?
Yes.
Wow.
Kendall.
Hmm.
Hayako.
Jasmine. Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
How many are we at?
That's 8.
1. That's 8. Okay. Kendall and Jasmine. Not a lot of Japanese names and came forth there, but whatever. Who cares?
I'm sorry. Hey, you said Kendall.
I did.
That one's pretty freaking white.
It is. It was, but I was trying to think of more, and it was just like, get this out of my brain and move on to the next. So,
Nico.
Sure, Nico.
We'll change Jasmine to Nico.
I literally said Hayako.
I know. I don't like that one. That name sucks.
Okay.
And if your name's Hayako, change your name. Not really.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. So.
If your name's Henry, change your name. That's an old man name.
So you could have chosen, because you're the lens, you could have chosen to make 2 things, but you didn't. You made one. You made the
one
event.
Big.
So now it is my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if the period of chaos is everything getting destroyed, I actually would like to create another event, since it is on me, and I'm actually going to put it in your event space.
Okay.
It happens before your event.
Okay.
So I think before we get straight into the fight for power, there's another event.
Okay.
We're going to call this event the Oopsie Daisy Bomb.
The person who found out they had a power.
Not just one person, a series of people realizing they were really powerful or could do crazy shit almost all at once.
The explosive handshake.
Yeah.
Just dead person in front of them now.
The Oopsie Daisy Bomb.
The atomic high
and
five.
Shush. Again, don't collaborate.
Sorry.
There's literally a line that says, "Building my committee will kill this game."
Okay.
So, the Oopsie Daisy Bomb is an event where immediately preceding the orbs wishing everybody into power across the entire department, most people do not know they were just granted a wealth of power. Now, granted, not everybody has OP powers.
Correct.
But some people do. None of them can be children, of course. But in that instance, across the department, and departments we've established are pretty big, pretty decent size, right? They're easily like big cities, most of them. Right? So imagine everybody in LA, the city of LA, all of a sudden has powers and they don't know. During the Oopsie Daisy Bomb, which is probably not even the very day it happens, I'd say it's the day after everyone's granted powers. As people are living their lives, a series of almost chain reaction expression of these powers happens in an event that levels a big chunk of the department by itself, as no one knew, and unfortunately, in a scary accident, found out they had powers. The Oopsie Daisy Bomb. All right. So now it goes back to you. You get to do either another event or a scene where you can focus on exactly what happened.
I promise I'm not trying to just get the number one spot. I thought about it. We need...
Liar.
No. We need the guy that just was like, hey, I want powers. We need that guy. Who is that guy? Who decided? Who's the one that gathered these fancy rocks?
That sounds like a scene. Now, luckily enough, you can make an event and a scene. Which, I'm not going to lie to you, the congregation almost feels like an event and a scene. But we'll just kind of let it go as an event because I didn't collaborate on that. I didn't have my turn in that scene.
Okay.
But you can decide, of course. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you that it sounds like it could be either. I should probably read making a scene so we just know what that's like. Okay. Scenes are the smallest unit of history. They show us exactly what happens at a specific place at a specific time with specific people. Scenes are also different because instead of creating them unilaterally, all players join in and role play to determine what happened. You give up absolute control, but in return, you get to decide what everyone is going to role play about. Turning everyone's attention to a part of history that interests you. To create a scene, you first pose a question, something you want to find out about the history. The goal of the scene is to decide the answer to that question. We start off the scene without an answer and discover through play. The question can tell us something crucial to history, like why did the king betray his country? It can give us a window into what life was like in that time and place. Are asteroid miners happy with their rugged frontier lives? Is another example. Or just examine something that is important to the grand scheme of things, but is interesting to the players, such as, did the soldier get to marry his hometown sweetheart? If you want to make a scene, but you want to answer the question yourself instead of letting the other players participate, you can choose to dictate the scene instead. When you dictate a scene, you describe what happens and narrate the answer to your own question. Just like making a period or an event, making a scene is making a dictated scene is covered later. So to make a played scene, don't say anything about what you have in mind. Just follow the steps. State the question. Set the stage. Choose characters. Then reveal thoughts.
One second.
Okay. Taking 1 second. If you want to dictate a scene, I'll read that real quick. Instead of playing a scene, the current player can choose to dictate what happens during the scene. Dictating a scene is useful when you want to be in total control of what happens, or when playing out the scene would not be interesting. Other players cannot affect dictated scenes. Skip all the rules and playing scenes and do the following. State the question. Decide whether to put the scene in history and review what we already know. Narrate what happens to answer the question. You can include any characters you'd like and narrate whatever you want, but keep it short and to the point. When you're finished, follow the normal rules for ending a scene. Ooh, ending a scene. A scene ends when the players know the answer to the question. If you think the question has been answered, just say so. Don't get distracted by action in the scene. You may be really curious to find out how something else in the scene turns out, like whether the hero gets vengeance on the villain who murdered his father. But don't prolong the scene to find out. Just play another scene later focused on that. If the scene is going nowhere, the players can agree to call it moot and end scene without answering the question. Failure! After any scene ends, whether it's played or dictated, do the following. Judge the tone. All the players discuss what happened and decide on the scene's tone. Was the outcome generally light or dark? Don't
We forgot to
consider.
do that.
Yeah, we sure did.
Was yours dark or light?
Dark.
Thought so.
Don't consider future consequences. Just look at what happened during the scene. If the scene doesn't seem particularly light or dark, judge the scene to be the opposite tone of the surrounding event. The scene failed to live up to the expectation expected tone of the event. There we go.
Okay.
So there we go.
So, I'm gonna name him Keelan. Gathers the space snake orbs,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what they are because they've never been gathered before. He just found them, was collecting them, and gets greeted by the giant space snake.
Mm-hmm.
Scared out of his mind, when confronted with what he desired, he responded with, he wants life to be more exciting, more interesting. Because life up to this point has just been normal life.
Mm-hmm.
And so the space snake then gave everyone powers. Because he kind of left it open-ended.
That is an answer, I guess. Well, shoot.
Do you want to add to that?
No, I can't. You dictated an event or a scene. It sounds like you dictated a scene, actually.
Yeah, which means you should be able to partake.
No, it's you didn't ask a question. You did. Well, that's not even. There's no question there. He gathers the orbs without knowing the purpose. Greeted by this sounds like a scene, but a scene should have a question, and then the question should be answered by the end of it.
Okay.
So it might just be
how
an
did
event.
the pageants get started? I guess is the question.
I mean,
how did the powers come to be?
Right, and then you dictated that.
Yeah.
So that's already
okay.
You could call it a scene, which should take place within an event. I would call that an event.
Okay.
Because it's just what happened.
Okay.
You name that event whatever you want, but it's kind of just what happened. You named a character, sure, but you just said what happened.
Okay. Sorry, it's still a little funky with how it all functions together.
Of course, we're figuring it out. And I think that it's important to understand how the progress works. So it's like a period, big chunk of time. An event, a smaller chunk of time. Like this could have happened within a couple of weeks, which this did, right? He gathered the orbs, and then he was able to have his desire granted. And then a scene is even more specific, like what happened when he gathered the orbs. You sort of answered that. So it's kind of
I'm
both.
gonna name it The Great Mistake. I wanna make it a light event because it wasn't meant out of malice.
Mhm.
He was just trying to make life better for everyone.
Yes, and then it got dark, and then dark again.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna name it The Great Mistake.
Now, hilariously, it should be a light event because it's right there in the beginning, and we already agreed that it starts light.
Yeah.
So there's that. We should probably put more light in the beginning there. I'm actually not even sure that the way you have this starting is so counter to the beginning. Like,
Well, it's not evil, it's just chaos. It's everyone with
we're not talking about evil, we're talking about light and dark. In the first period, it's the period of chaos, which also the period should be light or dark. The first period, the period of chaos. If we're basing it based on the events in it so far, it is a dark period. Now, I'm not saying this to criticize or to do this by committee. I'm saying this because I'm just trying to clarify
I think you're right.
how the game starts.
I think you're right. I don't think it should start period of chaos. Because the first thing that's going to happen is people aren't going to start fighting immediately. They're going to be like, look what I could do.
Sure. So what you can do is you can take... Here's what we'll do. We'll take the period of chaos, and we'll move that down.
And we'll move it over here.
We'll move that down. That's the period of chaos now. And then you can make a new period with the event in it.
A period of powers?
It's your period, bro. You name it.
Period of power. I like that because the first thing is power. First thing is power is granted. Period of power.
Sure. It's a short period, but we can kind of flesh that out more. All right. I think next, let's go back to overview of play. All right. Then after all players address the focus, we take a step back and examine legacies, elements of the history we want to remember and explore later on. So this is where we're at now. We're at the legacy step.
Mm-hmm.
So first, we're going to choose a new legacy. The player to the right of the lens, that's me, picks something from...
you're to my left.
I'm both. The player to the right of the lens picks something from play during this last focus and makes it a legacy. Then we explore a legacy. The same player creates an event or dedicated scene. You know what?
Ooh.
I hate to be a stickler, but your event, your focus, your period isn't in your focus either. The new period you just made isn't in your focus. Your focus was the concept of the fight for power. And though mine is in there, it is only barely. Right? Mine explains the fight for power. Yours is the fight for power.
Well, honestly, the Oopsie Daisy Bomb would go in the period of power, not the period of chaos.
You're right, because we're kind of changing things. You're kind of right, at least, but to some extent, it explains the period of chaos.
Not really. because the period of chaos is the fighting for power. Yours isn't the fighting for power. Yours is people just finding out they have powers when they didn't know.
Mine is the experience of power out of control. The reason people would fight for power is because power is out of control. We're fucking up this period, by the way. We're really bad at this. By the time we get to the next round, because we should do this again at least once more time, we should really be better at this.
Yeah.
So, the reason I introduced my event is because it made sense for a reason why there would be a period, why the event that the congregation would happen. Right? Because I don't
yes
think
and no, because the way I see it, like let's take my joking example of the atomic high five, for example. That wouldn't instantly, like, unless it actually nukes the person, but just if you high five and it boom breaks their hand, you're gonna panic, but it's not gonna cause chaos. It's gonna be just people discovering, oh my gosh.
Yes, but very clearly in the Oopsie Daisy Bomb event, I state
level a good chunk of the department.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is a chaotic thing to happen. That your atomic high five.
But it's not intentional is what I'm getting at.
But intention isn't necessary. Right? What necessity is intention to chaos? Zero. Right? There is no need for intention in the wake of something, of a natural disaster. Is there intention behind a tsunami or a tornado? Right? That's what I'm describing here.
Okay.
You know, I'm describing an event that happens that puts everybody on their heels. And I will even change it and reframe it to fit better in the period of chaos, because I agree it shouldn't happen right after. It was just funny to make it happen right after. But probably it will happen after people are starting to test the limits of their new powers. Right? That's a more logical place to put it in the first place.
Okay.
So the Oopsie Daisy Bomb is a chain reaction of people exploring their powers to devastating end. Still absolutely accidental. Do you not know how to put an A in? Oh, you moved it. Okay. These should also be changed.
Yeah, they're all linked together, so I can't change it.
That is fucking unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It is what it is.
But yeah. I think
How dare you insult me? I am being a great stenographer right now. My typewriter sounds and everything.
People learn.
Hopeful. 1 second.
And begin to explore them more deeply.
Not to go on a side tangent, but you know how I got chemical burns the other day from the barrels?
Yes.
Just randomly, My phone went off, and my mom just randomly paid me $50, and it just says barrels. My phone was like, "You have a Zelle notification. Your mom
Barrels.
paid you for barrels."
Barrels. All right.
I think
All right.
chemical burns are all gone.
Good.
Nope.
In a time after people learn they have powers, they begin to explore more deeply, and there should be an end there. And a chain reaction of people testing the limits of their powers level a good chunk of the department.
Much better. Much more better.
There we go. This is a dark period.
It's already labeled dark.
Where?
Oh, the period is dark. Okay, got it. Sorry.
All right. Cool. This period is light. We're doing it. We're doing it.
We're doing things.
We're doing it. Okay. So, I'm going to say, we'll let your kind of
Up.
your goof there stand, even though it doesn't fit into the focus. We're just going to move on and do the legacies. Now, I'm going to do the legacies. And I think what I would like to focus on is this committee, this what'd you call it? Congregation, which is a strange term, but it was a term you chose.
Pick a different one. I hate it. I just came up with something.
Committee. Call it the committee. I'm going to focus on specifically the 8 people of the committee. I think that's something that we should focus on and make it a legacy.
Okay.
So I'm going to create an event or a dictated scene that relates to one of those legacies. Either the one just created or one already in play. We've just got the one legacy. And then the player to the left of the lens becomes the new lens at the end of it. So
that's Amber.
What's Amber?
What's Amber? Don't worry about it.
No, I will.
Nope. You're the lens. Oh,
did
here.
it backwards.
You're the lens.
Damn it.
Know your place, lens. She doesn't know her place, Jeff.
She doesn't know her
what to do
place.
about that.
Well, fuck it. Of course she doesn't. She's not playing the game.
Do I need a new one?
A new lens?
No, new wife. I'm just kidding.
Be careful, my friend.
I know. She has sharp things.
I don't know if that's how you spell legacies. Apparently it is. Look at that.
Legacies.
I just don't like the way that looks.
I don't even know what you're typing. Oh, the next page.
Yes, I'm putting legacies down. Legacies, the
Committee.
all right.
Conglomerate.
You could also call it a conglomerate. All right. Now I create an event or dictated scene that relates to one of those legacies. So the legacies is the 8 people. I think the scene I'm going to dictate.
There's so many double letters in committee. I hate it. COMMITTEE. I hate it.
It's great.
Dumb word. Thanks, Webster.
Thanks, Webster. So I think the scene I'm going to dictate is, we'll start with a question. What do we do a valid question. What do we do now? And I think that
Who asked that question?
I'm dictating the scene. The scene isn't who asked it. It's the question. What do we do now? So in the scene, Niles, let's say, asks, well, now that we've decided that we are the ones who will rule or
lead.
We are the ones who will lead. What now do we do with this new position? And I think that it's not big, strong Nico, but instead Sybil, who says, well, I think the first thing we do is rebuild.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The sound of me slamming on this fucking keyboard. Can you?
I'm just watching this. It's great.
Hey.
And Sybil responds, rise. No. That's for all my solo leveling fans out there.
General Kenobi.
Yep, there we go. Scene created. All right, new lens. It's me.
Sure.
Before the new lens starts, you may want to take a quick intermission and talk about how the game is going. Talk about what you liked or what intrigues you, but don't plan what's going to happen next. That's the whole game in a nutshell. Each step is described in more detail in the rest of the book. Okay, cool. Then we're going to go back to the top. So you want to take a quick intermission and talk about how we think it's going so far?
I feel like I'm enjoying it, but the structure of it is very interesting because
I would agree.
It's convoluted, but very open, but very restricted, but very open. If that makes any sense.
I think that it's not restricted. I think that it's structured. And I think that
I don't understand the structure.
Right.
I feel like that could be clarified more.
I think it is clarified pretty decently, but
I'm just dumb.
I don't think you're dumb. I just think that it's clarified pretty decently. I'm the one reading it, right? You're just listening to me read it, which hopefully is helping, but because I know that sometimes ADHD makes reading hard.
Yeah.
But
I need a pie chart, Jeff.
I don't think you could put this on a pie chart.
But I like pie.
And charts.
I just want a good pecan pie.
I think that
I'm hungry.
the structure to it makes sense, but it would make more sense if we were playing in person. I think that's really the biggest thing that's limiting your understanding, because it is intended to be played in person and you can see the timeline. You can have a visual representation of where you're placing things and how they are meant to be placed. And you can also have a reference with a little like symbol for light and dark for each
See,
piece.
That's not what gets me. I understand that. It's the scenes and whatnot, where I can put them, and
And that's
the
what I'm
actions
saying.
are the convoluted part. I understand the light, dark, when they should be, where they should be. I get that, which is why I was able to overlook it with you and then be like, well, under that context, I think Oopsie Daisy Bomb should be in the period of power, but then you changed it a little bit, so then it went to the period of chaos again.
Right.
So the structure of it makes sense to me, like what should go where.
Sure.
We have a good representation of a linear chart, if you will.
Yeah.
So I don't think us being in person would change anything, even if you put a perfect timeline in front of me and we all wrote on the timeline together.
Okay. So
I
clarify
feel like
more where you're getting a little lost.
so setting the scenes and the focuses. I guess I just made some oopsies.
Yeah. I mean, and that's understandable because, like, again, maybe more to the point, we didn't write the focus for that time, but maybe you would have normally. Like, hey, this is what this whole thing is supposed to. This whole section is the focus of. Right. I'm the lens. I made the focus. This is what it is. Now, hilariously, you were the lens. You made the focus. But when we got too far away from the focus, maybe object permanence kind of got into play there.
Game not meant for ADHD people. Got it.
And I'm not, and this doesn't even really apply to object
But
permanence,
what
but you
happens when
instantly
the
got what I
orbs are
meant.
gathered again? What do we do then, Jeff?
Well, that's all stuff we'll figure out along the way.
Next step, you're the lens. Carry on.
All right, I'm the lens. I think I want the focus to be, because I don't think we've given enough time yet. No, you know what? I'm thinking too linear. The cool thing about this game, it doesn't have to be linear. So I'm just gonna skip. Fuck it. I'm gonna even create a new period. I'm gonna call it the discovery period.
Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
In the world we know as Mediocre Mod, there lives a department of powerful people falling into chaos, but somehow thriving and coming together to create a beautiful world. And as we zoom out, we can get a better look at this department we call anime. I should have done that. I should have done that voiceover. Should have been me.
I think I'm going to stop typing and start talking. I'm going to create a period called the discovery period. That's going to be our new focus. The discovery period is a period in which many great, I want to say secrets, but I don't mean interpersonal secrets. Knowledge that was lost.
Yeah, secrets that are discovered.
Sure. Knowledge that was lost or never truly found, which I guess is really just still lost knowledge. Lost knowledge is is uncovered. And I think a big one for that.
I have an important question on that. Intentionally or accidentally?
No questions.
Okay. Sorry.
So, knowledge that was lost is being discovered, is being found again. Stuff that people had forgotten or never known. Stones that were never unturned are being unturned. And so lost to time and circumstance. How do you spell circumstance? Circumstance. Ah,
SIR
incorrect.
COME space STANCE. Sir, come stance. It's a request.
Revealed. All right. So the discovery period, a time in which knowledge lost to time and circumstance, is being revealed. And specifically, because I can do this as the lens, I'm going to say a specific event that happens is the department. The event is called the truth. And it's when the department finds the or learns more of the gray snake orbs. Sorry, space snake orbs. Space snake orbs. All right. So there we go. So let's see. Declare focus of the game.
Don't I have to create a period
Hold
as
on.
well?
Hold on. It can be a person, place, thing, event, or a period. I'm going to say the focus is the period. Though next time, I think I'm going to try a person, place, or thing because I think that's going to be way more fun. But I'm going to make it a period this time. The period is the period of discovery. That's the new focus. Then I get to start making history. So I made history by making the period, and then I sorry, brain. Then I made an event that happened because it happens inside the period. And then it's your turn. Oh, I should say what they both are. I think they're both light. I think they are light. Because I would like to do a little bit more light work. So there. I've made a focus, which is the period. I've then taken that period and made it into a and added an event. Sorry, for my sake, for my part of making history.
Okay.
Yes. Now it's your turn.
Okay. So now I also create a period, correct?
You can create either a period, event, or a scene, and it must relate to the focus, which is the period of discovery. I would advise to make it easier to relate to the period of discovery, you make an event or a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Though it doesn't, I want to see if it dictates that a scene has to be made within an event. It doesn't look like it does. So you can make a scene that doesn't relate to an event if you want it.
Okay. So
It's just a small chunk of history that we will just put in there somewhere. If that's where you go.
So
How
Jax,
interesting is this, guys?
on a hunt for more knowledge.
What are you
This-
creating first before you get into it? Just so I have some expectation of what you're creating.
An event.
Okay.
Discovers an old scripture. Dictating the purpose of the space snake and his orbs. Yeah, that needs to be a 1. However you did that, make that a 1. You're muted, by the way.
Okay. I didn't remember muting myself, but okay.
Yeah, because that goes into the truth. So Jax is kind of the one that...
So then it's a scene. You can't put an event in an event. It would be a separate event.
Okay, then yeah, it's a scene.
Okay. So just to be clear, if you're going to make it a scene, ask a question and then answer it. Like I did here. What do we do now? Niles
Okay.
asks the question. Unless you want to play the scene in which you ask a question and you don't answer it.
I'm trying to think the question.
And I'll answer it. We'll answer it by role playing.
Let's do that one.
What, the answering the role playing a scene?
Yep. We'll role play it. I don't even know what I said anymore. Jax asks.
Well, I guess if you have otherworldly powers, you could live forever.
Jax asks, where did these orbs come from? And we can roleplay it.
Sure.
But
you
go ahead.
Okay. But do you want to roleplay asking the question, or I don't know if that's where you were going or not.
I was just thinking because I kind of want to dictate the scene a little bit, but I also want to ask the question, and you can't do both.
The thing is, we play the scene together, so you can be a part of it.
No, I'm saying like I want to say like I want Jax to be asking this like, wow, they're scavenging for answers.
Okay.
Not just like bumping into each other one day, be like, hey, where'd these orbs come from?
Sure.
Like in a library while they're searching through scriptures.
Okay. That's setting the scene. That's part of it. You can set the scene.
Okay, then okay, cool. I can set the scene. So setting the scene, Jax, while rummaging through old texts, asks, where did these orbs come from?
Okay.
Why are they here?
It's technically 2 questions, but I'll let it slide. I think Ryuk says, Ryuk's like, Well, I think I may have discovered they came from outer space, but I'm not certain if that answers your question.
How do you get that answer? Did you
According
find something?
according to what I've found, they are referred to as the great space snake orbs. And what they do could explain why all of a sudden you and I are some of the most powerful people to exist in this department, if not this whole mart.
How? I'm trying not to ask more questions.
We're just playing the scene, but we have to move towards an answer. And if at some point you
Okay.
feel like we have, we should end the scene. So do you feel
Okay.
like we've answered the question? Or should we keep playing the scene out?
I want to play it out just a little bit more, just to clarify, because this is the discovery of the orbs, their purpose, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so they're from space, but what is the purpose of them? Why? I understand that they're from space, but are they just magic?
I'd like to believe, Nico says, I'd like to believe they're there to give us hope.
Well, I don't know about hope-giving magic powers, but maybe
Who knows?
wishful thinking. End.
Okay. Sure.
That way, they kind of stumbled onto it, but didn't fully.
Sure. Questions answered. Write all that shit down, motherfucker.
Yep.
All right.
It was Ryuk.
Yeah. Ryuk. All right. Then it's going to go back to me, where I then again put something in this period, because this period's the focus. Dicks. We're just going to move things around in a second. All right. I'm going to make an event. The event is the let's call it ancient. Damn it, Bobby. The event is called Ancient Society Revealed. While some of the researchers, while some of those searching for answers discover links to an ancient society that may be responsible for the great space snake orbs, and much more.
Jeff, you want to take a second? Just do some shameless plugs. I gotta go use the restroom and grab a drink real quick.
For sure. All right. So, if you're here with us, thank you for being here. We appreciate you on so many levels. I genuinely cannot explain how much we appreciate you. But beyond just our appreciation, we hope that you're enjoying this. You're having some version of fun. It's somewhat interesting to you. I know that sometimes we can get a little procedural, and like maybe that's not exactly what you're looking for. But if you're looking for something that's more fun and a little bit more lighthearted, please feel free to join us on Torchlight Tavern on our other Twitch shows. Coming up this Friday, we have another show that we're pretty proud of called Mythcraft Country. And in Mythcraft Country, we play a game called Mythcraft. It's a brand new system that has a really fun rule set, if you ask me. I run it as the DM there. Oops, shaking everything. Ooh, earthquake. I'm the DM for that. And we have a fun cast of characters, including Henry, who plays a race of beings that are sort of anthropomorphic woodland creatures, like small woodland creatures that like badgers and squirrels. And he, for instance, is a raccoon. We also have our good buddy Jameson Oxford, as a little troll guy, and our friend Mav, aka Maverick SD, who plays a big old dog man. We have a lot of fun. We get into some weird situations, and honestly, it's one of the games I look forward to the most as far as a game that I'm involved in at all. And if that's not your speed and you prefer to watch something that's more like Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, you can join us next Wednesday for Wacko Mundo, which is another game I run. It's a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition actual play where I have this kind of weird and wacky world that I have some of my friends run through that also features Jay, as well as several others, including the lovely Katie Mischief and the incomparable Coda. So you can join us there for either of those. But if none of that, for whatever reason, floats your boat, but you do happen to like tabletop role playing or fantasy stories, and you happen to be driving somewhere, which is where I listen to my podcasts at least, please go check us out, the Torchlight Tavern podcast. It's none of these games. It's only some of these people, and we put a lot of work into it.
It's only one of those people.
And we put a lot of work into it. It is more put together. It is more concrete. It is more story-based. And even if you don't like actual plays, or maybe not if you don't like actual plays, but even if actual plays maybe aren't exactly your thing, but you like a good story, I promise you, we're making a pretty good story over there. So hop on down to wherever you listen to your podcasts, whether that's YouTube for some reason, or Spotify, or iTunes, whatever, and check out the Torchlight Tavern podcast. The Torchlight Tavern podcast.
And
had a stroke.
I want to say, I am begrudgingly not staying up to date on the podcast. Bear with me for a daggum minute.
How dare you?
Because I reached the end of all of my podcasts, and you know me, Jeff. I'm a binge guy.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't like waiting for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I want as many back to back as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm not driving an hour to and from work every day, it's giving me the opportunity to not listen
Sure.
And so I'm like, yes, but in the most weird way that I can build up a little nest egg of episodes. Because, fun fact, everybody, I'm not in the podcast. I have nothing to do with it. I just enjoy it as a bystander, and it's great. Love it. And it's not because I love these guys, because these guys suck. But their podcast is the bee's knees. Trust me, I tried to play Pico Park with them. It was miserable. They all suck.
Literally.
But the podcast is great. And I cannot wait for my next long drive so that I can just binge the hell out of it. It's great. They put so much work into it. We put minimal to no work into this. And
look how that's turning out.
Right? And they put an ungodly amount of time into that. Off screen and effort. Well, obviously it's all off screen. It's a podcast. But off air completely. There's so many hours that go into editing and getting rid of all this nonsense that you don't want to listen to. This one is for the fun nonsense. And we're not being very nonsensical today, which is off brand for Wednesday. Let's be honest.
It's a little off brand. Though we did start with a bunch of weird ranting about stuff. So
we did. I've said no pee pee poo poo jokes.
Not one until now.
That wasn't even a joke.
It was a reference.
It was just an honest statement.
It's true. Not one pee pee poo poo joke. Not one.
God, what does this stream come to?
Not one.
Not pictures of me, I'll tell you that much. Had to slide something in.
That's what she said.
Anyway.
Now we're back.
Yeah, now we're back. If you don't like the banter, that's where you go. If you do like the banter, this is where you should live.
Stick around.
Wednesday nights is your thing.
Wednesday nights is a good night for banter, but it is a little procedural right now. But once we get through this, and I'm not trying to rush it, but I am now excited that I have an idea for what we're going to do next. Once we get through this, it'll be way more bantery, I promise, because I'm sure this chuckle fuck's still on board. Sorry, wrong direction. This chuckle
No, you had it right, I think.
I didn't. I can see myself.
I know I'm inverted, so you're over here.
Mm-hmm. And you're over here.
You also have me very zoomed in on my face.
Don't you love it?
What are you trying to... No.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to
What are you trying to do to me? You trying to show off all my blemishes, my lack of facial hair? Rude. Get out of here.
Yeah. Didn't you just get a thing for your face? You were talking about it just before stream.
I did, but look at all the effort I put into hiding all the nonsense and making it look like I'm a put together human being.
Wild.
And I don't even get to utilize it? Rude.
All right.
I can't even flex my John Elway jersey.
Okay, hold on.
No one knows what this is.
I'll give you more space.
Hell yeah. And turn me around.
I don't know if I can do that, so don't ask for too much.
Turn me around, make me better looking, add a filter. Snapchat filter, preferably. Oh, now you just want to show my forehead?
Listen, I'm making you bigger. I know what the fuck you want. All right?
I want to be picky. I want to be needy. I want to be wanted.
You're succeeding at the picky and needy.
Amber, do you want me?
I want you.
I want you to want me.
All right, you're wanted.
Hell yeah.
I need
Did you know the last time I heard that?
Shut up.
I'm begging you to beg me.
This is the best I can do where you fit into a similar size space as me. So
that's
live
perfect. I love that. That's so much better. Look at that. Look at all the room for activities. As a male hand model, I need more room for my hands, Jeff. And before you gave me this box, you gave me this box to live in, and this is where I had to live. Now look what I can do with these bad boys.
Oh, he's just gonna start describing everything with fucking hand puppets.
Sensual hand gestures. I'm gonna describe everything inappropriately. Yeah, Jax and Nico met up to read books.
Are you not? I'm confused. Are you not?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
they're
thought that's
reading
what you
books in the
wanted.
library. Didn't I go over this? It has nothing to do with this.
I understand. It has something to do with this.
No, Jax and Nico are related. We've gone over this. That's
No,
not
we haven't.
allowed.
No, we haven't.
No, I'm saying incest isn't allowed.
That's fair. It's not allowed.
Jax and Nico are related.
Now I know.
Mm-hmm.
I also, briefly, while we're in this...
I actually like that. That's canon now. Jax and Nico are related.
While we're briefly in this intermission, I want to discuss how I think it's interesting that we're in a whole new period and these people still exist. Like, we haven't established how much time this is, but a period to period can be pretty long. But it doesn't have to be, of course. But, like, I was just like, you were like, yeah, Jax is doing stuff. And I was like, I guess he could live for a really long time. We're like 2 periods away from when they started. Which, again, it doesn't dictate time. That's the whole thing about this system. It's not... It doesn't say how much time has actually passed.
God, thank God Tony isn't here for that. Did you see
man.
what I just did?
He'd be so thirsty for
He'd
you
be
right now.
all over the chat right
He'd
now.
be like,
Jesus
oh,
Christ.
do it again, but slower. You should let him know. Let him know we're on right now. Just shoot him a text. Be like, hey, we're on. And I just deep-throated a bottle. And he'll be like, what?
He's going to pipe up in the chat. I've been here the whole time.
There's no way he can be in the chat and not pipe up. That's something we have established at this stage.
Yeah. Tony's great, though. Love Tony.
Yeah. You know what? I love people who come in and they're active. I love that shit. If we had more viewers and more people that were active, I would be
You'd stream
actively
shirtless.
talking to them right now. I mean, if that would get us more viewers, sure. I don't think a lot of people want to see this.
Hold
man
on, I
meet.
gotta make some posts.
I don't think a lot of people want to see this man meet.
Hold on. I'm gonna send out a message and we'll see what happens.
We shall see. All right. Let's see. Oh yes, I was in the middle of something. That's not how you spell that. To hat? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh gosh. Oh, that just brain blasted me. And I'm upset because I can't even think about it, if that makes any sense. The All That theme song.
All that. And
Is that
then
how
you
it
just
goes?
thought about it. And then you were like, oh, all the awful things that happened on All That.
No, not even that. Oh God, I didn't even think about that. I meant like that made me think of All That's theme song, but I was like, I don't even know how All That's theme song went.
I did it. I've done it. You're welcome.
Just that over and over again? I don't fully remember.
All that.
It's
I'm near positive
all
that.
that.
Yeah, I'm near positive. That's it.
I wish
Also-
we wouldn't get
Also, for some reason, they were hiring child molesters. So that's a thing we know now. We know that now.
And if you don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, now you know. And the thing we don't know that isn't confirmed is what exactly happened to Amanda Bynes in that time. But we can make some fair assumptions that not good shit.
And let's talk about this for a second. The crazy
Now we've
stuff,
got more
obviously,
viewers when we're out here talking about fucking all that.
but the thing that drives me crazy is obviously we don't know everything that happened with everyone. But Amanda Bynes, yeah, I told you.
No, then there's a rap. I didn't remember the rap part.
But Amanda Bynes, from the outside, came out okay. And then you compare her to like Lindsay Lohan, who had nothing to do with any of that kind of stuff. And Lindsay Lohan is fucked up. I don't know what happened with Lindsay Lohan, but I'm just saying comparatively, like you think about
which outside are you looking at?
Oh wait, no, Amanda Bynes did come out fucked up.
Hillary
thinking
Duff
of?
came out all right.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the
Amanda
one I was thinking.
Bynes came out with some
Yeah.
crazy stuff that happened.
Yeah, she did. I forgot about that.
She posted near nudes on Twitter, which, like,
Ooh.
don't get me wrong, Twitter's the place for nudes. We all know
Hell
that
yeah.
at this stage. But
And if you don't know, now you know.
it's the only thing people use it for anymore. I promise you that.
I'm in
But-
Tennessee and I don't have in a cabin, so I don't have much Wi-Fi. Tony, that's fine. You don't even have to be here.
Hillary Duff is
Hillary
my
Duff is
crush.
everybody's crush.
She
Are you
should
kidding
be.
me?
She's killing it right now. I'm just, you know what? I'm happy. Amanda Bynes wants to become a cosmetologist and open a nail studio, and I fucking like do it.
I
lady.
support that. Do it.
That's crazy for
Live
you.
your dream, live your life.
That's a weird choice for you, but like, I'm not saying it's a bad choice. Fucking live your life.
And let's be honest, if Amanda Bynes opened up a nail place, everyone would go there instantly.
Amanda Bynes could open up a fucking movie theater and people would go. She could open up a
Yep.
popcorn stand and people would be like,
A
I'm
lemonade
gonna
stand.
go to Amanda Bynes' lemonade stand right now. Why? Why not?
Dude, the lemonade's only $5 a cup, a Dixie cup.
There is in Wizards of Waverly Place Zeke. He is an OF. I was too old to watch Wizards of Waverly.
Yeah,
Waverly
we were in
Place.
that weird, like we were young, but
I'm older
was-
than you, so
well,
I
I'm saying
was
like I
too
was in
old.
that age group where it's like, I'm not too old to watch it, but I feel too old to watch it.
Sure.
So it was like, I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna watch that kid stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
I was in that age group for Wizards of Waverly Place. Like, if it was on, I would watch it and be like, I'm only watching this until something else comes on, but I'm secretly watching it because I like it. I'm just waiting for Toonami.
which, yeah, different channel, and
I
go
know.
watch that channel because Cartoon Network, great reputation.
Oh,
Is unflappable.
Yeah.
The great shame about Cartoon Network is that Cartoon Network got really fucked by big corporations. And don't worry, no shame that you watched it, Tony. I just didn't.
yeah, no.
It was
No shame at all.
It was right around the time where like live action shows that were directed more towards like teenagers were just not my thing.
Yeah.
I
Hannah
was still watching
Montana,
cartoons
Wizards
like
of Waverly
crazy.
Place.
But, like-
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was still carrying on, and
Yeah,
you can't
I never even-
continue to watch it.
Yeah, I never even got on board with that. Honestly,
you ne-
I didn't.
You
I
never
didn't
watched
watch
the
it.
beginning?
Nope. I never even watched some of the stuff that's like older than that. Like I never watched Ned's
Even Seedus?
Declassified School Survival Guide. I never watched fucking a bunch of that shit. Just didn't really catch me. You know, I was in a weird. I'm 35. I'm going to be 36 this year. So that stuff I was just like me. You know, you want to talk about stuff I watched when I was a kid? Let's talk about stuff that's only barely appropriate to me, and that is fucking. Oh gosh, what was it? Kelly Kapowski, Saved by the Bell.
Mm.
That's the shit.
Good show. Good show.
You know,
Grew up on Sister Sister. That was a good one too.
Sister, Naruto and DBZ, still my shit.
Mhm.
Still my
Mhm.
shit. See, I was on to that shit.
Yup.
You know, Full House. Ooh, good pull. Yes, Full House for sure.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. How could I forget about that one?
But all of
Amber
those
was a big
were-
fan of Fuller House.
I wasn't a big fan, but it was.
She watched it all,
Well, yeah.
so big enough fan.
No, I can't stop something. If I start something, I have to know how it ends. It could be complete, absolute trash, and
You know
I have
what?
to know how it ends. Like Cloud Atlas,
Is that why you watched
Rachel?
Gilmore Girls 78 times?
that's not trash. I like Gilmore Girls,
Boy Meets World.
bitch.
Yes,
Ooh,
that's my shit.
Boy Meets World.
That's my
Mr.
shit.
Feeney.
I tried Girl Meets World. Wasn't bad. Didn't stick with it though.
Topanga Lawrence.
Like 13-year-old Topanga.
Hey, we were age appropriate at the time. It was acceptable. Feeney.
See, One Tree Hill. Nope. I'm
Feeney.
I'm a giant child, so
Mhm.
I've always enjoyed cartoons, and I've stayed kind of meh about like shows like that where I was a teenager and I was supposed to like it. I didn't. I didn't like One Tree
So
Hill. I didn't watch fucking Gilmore Girls or any of that fucking
neither of
bullshit.
you may know anything about this, but I grew up on the Spiderwick Chronicles. I'm throwing a little bit of a loop here because they just came out with a new TV show. Spiderwick Chronicles was a book series that I read growing up. Loved it. 10 out of 10. They came out with a movie, and as they always do with movies, because they have to, they crammed everything in such a small space, and so much felt like it was left out. I was so upset about it. It wasn't a bad movie, but it didn't do the books justice. And they just on Roku, of all places,
Of all places.
came out with a TV series, and it's actually very good. They have their own little twists to it that make it
Mhm.
not exactly like the book, but just enough to where you still get that book vibe, but they are making big changes that it's enough to keep someone who knows the story engaged.
So
Because
what
it's
you're
like,
telling me?
ooh,
So what you're telling me is they gave it the Walking Dead approach. They took the Walking Dead approach.
was Walking Dead a book prior?
It was a comic book, and the first
Oh,
like 4 or 5 episodes is almost scene for scene
linear.
the comic book, not just linear. It is the comic, but
Okay.
like then they decided
So bad, but so good, but so bad, but so good.
then at some point during the production of The Walking Dead, they decided to deviate from that because they didn't like that, or they didn't want people to be able to predict too much
Mhm.
what was going to happen. Right?
Yeah,
Because
and I like that approach.
and honestly, obviously it worked for them. They've just released another spin-off, or they're just working on another spin-off of it. Like they're coming back to it. Now that's a show I should have finished, Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And
And then
I should have.
Amber, Tony says watch One Tree Hill.
I love One Tree Hill.
She loves One Tree Hill.
I've
I had a
watched it like
feeling.
3 times.
I had a feeling.
Ask
She's
him if he's watched Sullivan's Crossing.
well,
The
he
new
can hear
series
you.
on CW.
They can hear everything you do.
all
They
the
hear
time.
you fart.
Yeah, okay, because I've farted in here.
You heard it here.
You heard it here first.
Hey, remember that thing that we were saying, Jeff, about Wednesdays are for the tangents that don't get back to
Wednesdays we wear pink.
Wednesdays we wear pink.
Both of us are failing then, because I'm not wearing a single stitch of pink.
Pink.
Oh, you're not failing.
Bitch.
It's just me.
You can't sit.
I
Are
guess
my undies pink?
I'm just my,
They're purple.
it's my inner goth girl. Every day I wear black.
He's never watched Sullivan's Crossing.
He has?
No, he has not.
Has not.
It's
Take
a
your shirt
lie.
off right now.
It's a lie.
Jeff, you are wearing pink, and it is under your shirt, and it is in the form of 2 circles.
Those are definitely not pink, buddy boy. They're not very dark, but they're not pink.
There you go, Tony. You got nipples. How do you feel now, buddy?
Nipples. All right, we should get back to this. This is getting ridiculous. It's already 9:40. Let's try to finish one more round here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, since we're back to me and I'm the focus, or I'm the lens, I get to do 2 things. If they nest into each other, I think is the way they say it, which is a weird way to say it. Rushing nesting dolls. So I'm going to create an event. The event is an ancient society revealed. While researching, some discover an ancient society that may be responsible for the great snake orbs and potentially more. Now,
You wrote potentially much more.
potentially
Just clarify.
much more. Now,
100 biddies
Hey.
for the titties.
woo, 100 biddies for the titties. Worth.
See, Jeff, I told you all you got to do is stream shirtless.
You mean I could just keep continually getting 100 biddies for titties?
I don't know. The world may never know.
The world may never know. I'm not going to take my shirt off. That involves me taking my hat off, my headphones off. It's too much. It's 2 pieces of thing. Who does that?
Oh, here, you know what? I gotta ask Tony. How do you like the terrible facial hair?
Okay. I'll type while you do that. I'll type.
I got a derma roller today, so I'm starting to roll out the cheeks, see if I can get actual facial hair going. Get a full beard. How cool would that be if I could get a full beard? Then I wouldn't look like a 14-year-old kid.
You wouldn't look like the 14-year-old kid you still are.
Yeah. And see, I will say the camera does wonders because I do look significantly younger on camera, I think, than I do in person. You see me in person, you're like, ooh.
No full beard.
He's getting old. Take off your clothes, Henry, but looks fine, but no full beard. Don't go full beard. Just goatee. Or no facial hair.
Look like your dad.
Yeah, my dad had a gnarly goatee.
Woo!
At
gnarly
one point,
goatees.
he even did the Pirates of the Caribbean beads.
I love that for your dad.
It was great.
Unfortunately, couldn't have met the man, but I love that for your dad.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a pirate for Halloween one year, and he had the little beads in his goatee.
That's pretty dope.
It was mint. He grew it out just for that.
That's fantastic.
I think he got it to about your goatee length.
Yeah, I could put beads in here.
Yeah.
Little braids, little beads.
You should do it.
Make you a villain. Make you more villain. Sir, I'm cornering the market.
I was going to say, I don't think I could pull villain.
I'm cornering the market on the queer villain archetype. I may not be queer, but I'm cornering the market on the archetype. So thank you. I'm going to tie a lady to railroad tracks later.
And I'm going to pull the handle, the lever.
He's going to pull the lever.
And make it hit the other 5 people.
Yep. Because, of course, I cover my bases. I tie people to all the tracks.
Yeah.
In the United States.
I am the chaos in the trolley problem. If you could hit 1 bad female or 10 good people, I'm pulling the lever. 10 good people.
There's a horror streamer named Sharky that I look like. Oh.
But he's Australian.
Well, I don't do Australian well.
I was gonna say, what is this? This is probably the worst accent I've ever heard you go for.
You're right. Because the only way to do an Australian accent for some reason is to speak in several octaves higher than you normally would. Here's a fun fact I've learned. Go listen to Aboriginals speak, and they all speak with a very high register. I've never found a single one that doesn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, now
you know, nigga. I can say that. I'm black.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
You know what? From now on, you'll just finish it off for me. And if you don't know, now you know.
Nigga.
Hell yeah. What did you call me the other day?
Nilla.
Oh, yeah, Nilla. Manila. I love that for me.
Okay, so let's finish this scene. Ooh.
I'm glad you're here, Tony. It's always nice to have you in the stream.
He's right.
We were having a debate.
Spices things up.
We were having a debate because we were talking about shirts off and nipples off.
John, I'm streaming.
And I was like, Tony's just going to pipe up out of nowhere, like, take your shirt off. And then he's like, no, there's no way that, oh, that's what it was. I deep-throated my water. And I was like, Tony's just going to pipe up and be like, do it again. And Jeff's like, there's no way that Tony could have been in here all this time and not said something sexual to you by now. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And he was like, do you think if I stream shirtless would get more viewers? And I was like, hold on, let's find out. So I messaged you saying he was streaming shirtless. And it did get us more viewers. So, yes, the answer is yes. shirtless streaming gets more views. I'm in Tennessee, or I would. Oh yeah, no, dude. It's always appreciated.
Yeah.
You don't have to be here.
Yeah. It's true.
You
true.
show more support on our Wednesday stream than I believe anyone.
It's true. He's not lying. All right. Hold on. Let's finish this scene because.
Yep. I was waiting on you.
Yeah. And I'm ready now. So, again, the event here is that an ancient society is revealed. They may have they may be responsible for the great snake orbs and much more. The scene that I'm going to create within this event revolves around the question, what other things? Night.
Good night, Tony.
Did they create? They're in the middle of.
Night, love you.
Ooh, you even got a love you from Amber.
It revolves around the question, what other things did they create? Setting the scene, we're in what has to be some sort of like excavation or dig site.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a question that somebody asks, but instead, but it is the question that's being asked. So now I leave you to start the scene.
You leave me to start the scene?
Right. You have the setting of the scene. I asked the question, but this question isn't something asked by a person. It doesn't have to be. It's just the point of the scene. So we're in what is an excavation site, like a dig site, or we're in some, I don't know, ancient temple maybe. I don't think temple. Temple feels weird to me. But a dig site, let's call it. And what other things did they create? Start the scene however you want.
Okay. I want to throw you for a little bit of a loop here.
Mm-hmm.
A rat.
I'm already thrown
Scurries.
for a loop.
Scurries through a hole in the wall, revealing an opening. On to you.
You are a sticky wicket, aren't you? All right. Oh, my God. Mein Gott. There is a opening here. I must. Is it safe to investigate further?
I think you'd be foolish not to. What do you think's in there? Stick your hand in there.
Only more answers, assuredly. I will probe deeper for the sake of knowledge. Sticks his hand in the hole. Mein Gott, mein hand. I can't remove it. It's stuck. Mein hand. I'm uncertain I'll be able to use it.
It looks like it better got you.
It does, but at least it opened this door. Quick.
All right.
While I bandage myself, go look inside the room.
All right. I'll check it out. Walks in the room. There's something up above. Held by a rope. Here, I'll grab the rope. I'll lower it down.
All right, redneck.
Okay.
You tell me what's inside. Looks really good.
This was a great opportunity for us to yes and a bunch of like cool bullshit we'd introduced to the world, and instead we have.
What Amber just put.
I can't see it.
Look at the video.
Oh.
It's a bunny. She put the girl's initials on him.
Oh, it's so cute. Oh, you're so cute.
I think we're actually doing a great job at yes-anding.
Listen,
This is a phenomenal yes and.
Sure. I think what I was implying that we could have yes-anded what kind of cool things they discovered, but instead we've been passing the buck back and forth on starting anything.
We're about to find out, Jeff. What's in the basket? Come on.
Absolutely.
Tell me what's in the basket.
It appears to be some sort of a radar, but I am uncertain.
I was really waiting for it's some sort of box.
I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm not going to keep passing the buck back and forth. One of us has to say something.
If you went with box, I was going to answer.
It appears to be some sort of maybe radar device. It's hard to tell.
Here, hand it over.
Yeah.
It's got some old language.
Great
okay,
handwork.
Nope. If you wipe off the dust, you can actually read. It says a scanner, so it's not just a radar. It's a locator.
What do you think it locates?
Well, given why we're here, I'd assume that it might locate the orbs. But the daggum thing ain't even on.
We'll have to do more research. But for now, we should go deeper. See what else we can find.
I agree.
Come, it looks like there's more to this room.
Are you trying to end it or actually?
I'm trying to introduce at least one more thing.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I was like, okay, let's go. All right. There's a box over here. It looks like it's got some fancy hammer in it.
Fancy hammer?
Yeah, it's here. It's got like what's the word? Bioluminescence.
Oh, it glows. Maybe not bioluminescence. I don't think it's alive, but sure.
Yeah, it glows in weird ways.
Huh.
You think maybe this is to get rid of the orbs? For good?
It could be. It's hard to say. We must keep doing research and find more. Now we're going to end the scene. All right.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Yeah. Fucking finally. That's something.
You thought I was just going to leave you with a box?
I didn't, but I was just hoping you would take this yes and I gave you and give me fuck all anything.
I did.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right.
It was a fun scene. I enjoyed that scene. We had no names, by the way.
Nope. We can go back later if that's something that just deems necessity.
I don't think that needs to be fleshed out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it deems necessary.
His name was Dean. There you go.
Winchester?
Yeah, my guy was Dean.
My guy's name was Kurt
Cobain?
Wagner. Okay. Cool. There we go. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, so now we're on to your part. You do the last little bit here. Now you choose legacies. After we've addressed the focus, we take a step back and examine legacies. Elements of history we want to remember and explore later on. Choose a new legacy. The player to the right of the lens, that's you. Sorry, that's you.
Okay, thank you.
Pick something from play during the last focus and makes it a legacy. The same player creates an event or a dictated scene that relates to one of these legacies, either the one just created or one already in play. So you introduce a legacy, and then you create a scene based on one of the legacies that we have. We have two now. So after that, the new lens is picked, which I think will just end after that. And I think we'll have to come back for a part 3 because I think there's a lot more to be explored here.
I think just the legacy would have to be Ryuk discovering the texts that state the orbs are from space. I think that's something that has to be focused on.
Okay. What's your event or scene? And using which legacy will you go from?
What do you mean?
That's your final step. You have to create an event or dictated scene. So it's not a scene that's open for the both of us. This is either your full scene or your full event that relates to one of the legacies. So right now we only have 2, but you can pick from the 2 legacies and make an event or a dictated scene based on those legacies.
Okay. What was the 8 people of the committee legacy?
The legacy is just the element that I thought we could explore more. The 8 people of the committee: Hector, Jax, Niles, Sybil, Ken, Ryuk, Kendall, and Nico.
Okay, I want to elaborate on that then.
Sure. Create an event that does that.
I'm going to create a scene.
Ooh, a scene. Dictated scene.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be when they're all battling it out. And then I'm going to say
Remember,
that
a scene starts with a question, even when it's dictated. Creaky chair.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta figure out how to fix that.
I got oil.
I don't know if oil will do it.
It will.
Okay.
I got some if you want it.
Yep. But first you're gonna have to rub it all over your belly.
Rub my belly on your chair. Too bad Tony's not here. I want to say that Sybil is going to be the sensible one out of the 8.
Okay. What's your question to start your scene?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Sybil is going to be the one that asks, why are we doing this? If we keep going, there will be nothing left. Sybil is going to be the voice of reason.
You have to answer that question now. Make sure that you ask a question, and when it's a dictated scene, which is what it says you have to make, you have to provide the answer in that scene somewhere. So you could say the whole scene, everything that happens.
I'm getting there.
Okay, I'm just
So
making sure.
Sybil kind of demands a ceasefire. What is going on? Why are we doing this? There's going to be nothing left if we keep struggling for power, and we should come together. And we've all proven that we're worthy adversaries, to say the least. Why don't we work together? And then Niles pipes up. Well, I mean, you have a point. We've kind of leveled most of the department at this point. And there will be nothing left if we continue. And that's kind of laying the groundwork for the committee. It was Sybil that asked the question. And Hector said, well, we want to find out who's the toughest. And that's when Niles was like, well, there will be nothing left if we continue.
Okay.
So Hector was kind of reluctant. He was the pig-headed one that wanted to just brute strength through. Sybil started it. Niles jumped in, and then everyone else kind of followed suit. But Hector was the one outlier in this scene that was like, well, I mean, I can't take all 7 of them. So then they just agreed to all work together. Hector reluctantly.
Okay. Make sure you write that down.
You were supposed to be stenographering.
Listen, you didn't stenographer for much of my shit.
I did. Yes, I did. But I'll do it.
Write it down, because I'm going to do the outro. All right. Gosh darn it.
Where am I? Where am I writing? Where am I writing?
I gave you a spot right here.
No, I know, but where is my cursor? I was doing things
way down
where
there by the committee. Right now you're on the committee, but you shouldn't be there. You should be where I put you, or where I opened you up a space. There you go. There you go, bud. You'll excuse us. I don't want to say a hot mess. We're a lukewarm mess sometimes, but that's the part of the process. If you've been joining us here at all, ever, I appreciate you. Good night. Thanks for lurking, CD, as always. As I say, us being a bit of a lukewarm mess is a part of the process. Because what we're doing here is we're trying to build a world using games we don't really know and trying to kind of have fun doing it, which I think we mostly accomplish. I'll say that, to me, so far, Microscope has been the best at being a game that you can play that really helps you build a world. And we're going to have to come back and do more. And again, I really think we'll probably play this one again. If any, we play a second time, it'll probably be Microscope. With that being said, I'm glad you came to join us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, fuck, I'm so glad you made it through this, but at least you can fast forward. We will be continuing this. We've got, I think, maybe 4 more games that we might go through. And that's all just going to be up to how we feel. And build this world. And make this weird, giant nightmare department store that never ends, that you're guaranteed to get lost in. And even more guaranteed to have the craziest fucking experience of your life. If you've heard of Omega Mart, it's like that, but worse. We haven't even put in all the secret entrances to different stuff yet. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Join us again next week when we, I think, probably
2 more
finish.
things.
What?
I said where we do more things.
We will do more things. We will probably finish not next week. Join us again next session, which is not next week, but the week after next. We will probably finish the game of Microscope. And join us next week for Wacko Mundo, which is just a real play 5th edition game where I run weird shit. Not this weird, but more fantastical, and there's some whimsy in there. And even sooner than that, join us on Friday for Mythcraft Country, where we will be playing another game, but not one that you've seen before, likely. But if you have, join in.
Ludos.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's easily one of the games I look forward to playing the most. So please join us there. Like I said, this Friday. And check out the podcast. Anything you want to say, Henry, before we go?
I love you.
Absolutely. We love you. Remember, build good stories.